Well, guess what time it is? It's time to go play some poker. And here we are, our first playable hand, 10-9 of spades from under the gun. We opened the 10, we got two callers, and the low jack bumped it up to 45. I decided not to call the additional $35 from this position because we are in the middle and we got two players to act behind us. So we just went ahead and fold for $35 more. And you know what? The flop came ace king 10. And you know what? It checked around and the turn card was a 10. My goodness. I just went ahead and folded this hand pre-flop because I didn't know how the next two players would act behind me. I didn't know if they were calling or they were just limp raising. I have no idea if they've done that in the past, but we'll just go ahead and play needy poker here. And just like that, the very next hand, the poker gods give us 10-9 of diamonds from the big blind. Either the poker gods are trying to bless us with money or they're trying to bust us, but I think they are trying to bust us because we just called this hand from original raiser, which is on the late position, and flop comes 3 queen 8 2 spades. I know you don't have to hit the flop to win a poker hand, but in this instance I would have rather 4-bet this hand pre-flop. This session is just one of those sessions that you just don't never want to see because we picking up premium hand from the middle position. The straddle is on from the under the gun. We make it 20, small blind, and the straddler calls. We completely whiff the flop, and it's all small cards, which is small blind's range. And sure enough, he donk bets. And finally, we hit a decent hand, but poker gods would not give it to us in the late positions. We're in a small blind. We got one opener and two callers, and then we bump it up to 45 and everyone folds. I felt like that was a pretty decent 3-bet, and for some reason, we did not get not one buyer. It's just one of them nights. Nonetheless, we are happy with the end result. And if you look at it, aces is just another pocket pair. Okay, so mid-session update. I had to get away from the table because I found myself calling a lot, so I'm gonna need to regroup and 3-bet more, you know what I mean, and just go for it. Go for that gut, go for that telling that story, but the table is freaking amazing so far. I saw one guy, like, I had the straddle on and I had 5-4. I had 5-4 on the straddle, and then he raises it, and he's done this a couple of times on my straddle on the button. So I mean, it's no issue, right? But he raised it up to 15, so I just made a call, and then middle position 3-bets it, 3-bets it to like 50, 60 or something like that. So the original raiser calls it, and we fold. The flop came like it was like a pair of 4 on the flop. We hit a pair of 4 on the flop, and there was like a jack and some 8, random 8. So it was all freaking like random cards, man. And the caller, which was middle position, he donk bets, and then the original raiser pre-flop made it 160. The middle position, he said, okay, let's gamble, and just shoves all of his stack, which is like $300 or some crap. And the freaking original raiser called. You know what he had? The four deuce. What the okay, all right. Regroup. Okay, here's something a little different. We have 10-8 offsuit, and we have the button straddle on. Cutoff makes it 10. We complete, and I think we can actually 3-bet this to say around $35 or $40, because this cutoff in particular, he's very unorthodox with his bet sizing, the way what kind of hands is he betting with or raising with, and even on the flop and turn, it's just very unorthodox. But we went ahead and decided to just call. Flop comes 3-9-5 2 spades. Cutoff continues to bet for 15. I think we can go ahead and let this go, but you know what, we're gonna get sticky here, so we call the 15. Turn comes 10 of clubs. I think our 10 is pretty much beat here most of the time. You could have all the ace 10s, you can have all the 10 jacks, you can have all the king 10, king, queen 10, so on and so forth, right? But like I said, this particular player is very unorthodox with the way he bets. He just bets. I think we can just call with any pair here, really. Even a pair of threes, I think we can call here. So he continued to bet for 15 more. We call. River comes queen of clubs. Cutoff bets for 15 again, and we call. Quick call, that is. And sure enough, he had ace 9 of clubs. And here we are. A day later, we're out here grinding, man. We're editing. So, how did the session go? Actually, the session, I would say I was 50-50, right? I was 50% happy and 50% not so happy. I think mostly the 50% not so happy is because the cards were just not falling our way, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those sessions. There was a couple of hands that I made big bluffs on. The first one, I could not remember the exact detail, but I know that it was like villain made a call for third pair, and I bet like a full pot. I bet a full pot, which was like $120. It was like $110 pot, and I bet 120. And you know, I have all the bluffs and all the strong hands, right? All the nutted hands and all the bluffs, but he he still was able to make a call with third pair. So, hey, lesson learned, right? Now, there was one in particular. I think after the session break, I actually had maybe I got a little bit impatient. You know, I had ace deuce of clubs. I 4-bet the ace deuce of club. Well, I mean, why play ace deuce of club if you're not gonna 4-bet it, right? So we 4-bet it. We make it $60 from the late position, of course, right? That's the only way to do it, right? That's the only way to play the ace deuce of club if you're gonna 4-bet it, right? Anyway, so we 4-bet it from the late position, and the original raiser calls. Man, I cannot remember the exact details because, like, so my phone ran out of battery. It's just too much freaking recording. I need to bring me like a power bank or some crap. Anyway, the flop, there was one club on the flop, but we didn't. We whipped, completely whipped, right? We have no equity whatsoever, right? There was a queen. Okay, there was a queen on the flop. That I remember vaguely. And then it checks to us. We're last to act. We c-bet to $80, right? Queen, I mean, we're hitting all the queens, right? We're hitting every queen on that freaking board, right? We got ace queen, king queen, queens, pocket queens, right? I mean, queen jack occasionally, man. I mean, suited queen jack maybe, right? So anyway, we see bet for that like $90 or $80 or some crap, and then he calls, right? The turn gives us a flush draw, the nutted flush draw. So he checks, we check, right? I mean, it only makes sense, right? I mean, this my play is we have a queen, right? Anyway, the river comes another queen, so we completely whipped, right? And we just it was checked to us again, and I did not like that river, right? I mean, if I had a queen there, I would not be betting the way I bet it, right? But I bet it anyway because what am I gonna do with ace deuce, man? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like he he did hesitated on on the flop before he called. It took him like I say a minute, which is a long time for a 1-2 player to make that call, right? If they were gonna call, so it took him like a minute, and he hesitated. I think if I went a little bit larger on the flop, I think it would have been an easy fold for him, but unfortunately I didn't. But anyway, who knows, right? So he makes the call on a river shove. I shoved the rest of my stack in there, or I had him covered by like $3. So I shoved the rest of my stack in there, and man, he was able to make that call. It was still a pot size bet I had behind, so he was able to make that call. And oh, Queen Jack, called with Queen Jack. He almost folded it though, which is surprising because if you're calling the flop with a queen and a jack kicker, you should never be folding on a queen river, right? I mean, I did not like that river, but I had to bet that river. What do y'all think, man? Did I have to bet that river? I think I did. I just didn't see no other way. I think also fatigue maybe was playing part into it. But anyway, we did lose a session. We lost 300 something bucks. I mean, it was just up and down. It was just one of those sessions. But I would say I'm happy, and at the same time not so happy because of the fact that there was some mistakes that I made. I think I was calling too light in some spots. Like I had a I had a pair of deuce on the river, and I called for some reason. I just did not believe him, and he had the goods. So it's just one of those days. But I'm really excited and happy for the future. I like the setup I have going on here now. I have I have the MacBook down there. I have the freaking PC down there. That PC is a beast, but for some reason I don't like editing on that. I love editing on this. So I got the keyboard connected and the mouse connected. They're all connected to this I can't remember what they call them. Anyway, it's like I got it connected to that, and then HDMI to this monitor, which gives me an amazing real estate to edit. So I look forward to doing some more poker vlogs, especially now that the WSOP is in town. We'll see y'all in the next video.